shopping experience for Janique. Phyllis.
Okay, very good. Here's an unusual question, and maybe it's not pertinent to a lot of you, but we did get the question. So, will the new Dahlia red lipstick match my red dress? Well, I think you probably all know the answer to that one. Customer service cannot give out advice on colors or skincare. It would merely be our opinion, and what looks red to us may look pink to you. So kind of bear in mind that that's something they have to determine. Again, it may not relate to many of you, but we did get the question. So you just never know, and this is what ties up the phones a lot of times, is some of these questions that really aren't what you call the ones that we could answer proficiently, and but just so you have some idea, and we always refer them to the uplines because they could help them tremendously on that. Corey, do you have any more questions, or do I have the rest of them?
I think you have one tax question that I was going to follow up with another tax question.
How about we do that at the end? I got in between, Corey. I had a question that says, I joined Janique last year with the Color Image Kit. Why am I required to pay a $25 renewal fee for Color Alliance this year? Well, the answer to that is, when you signed up with Janique, your registration was good for the year you signed up and the following year. See, it depends when you come in. If that new person comes in October or September, and that $25 is included in their kit, well, that's good for that year and all of the next year. So we really give them better than a full calendar year. So then, however, the $25 Color Alliance fee is due every year. Because with the Color Alliance, if you're not in it, you may not quite understand what we're talking about when we say inquiries. But if you signed up in 2009 with Color Alliance, your Color Alliance renewal fee is due in January of 2010. And that will give you 90 Color Alliance inquiries. In other words, once they determine a woman's hair color, eye color, and skin color, they can put it into the computer because they'll have a special code, and the computer will tell them what that woman may be. Like, I'm a true mellow autumn. Well, then they know what's taking place, and that's what inquiries are. So your $25 annual renewal fee will not be due until January of 2010. So the regular one that we pay every year for mailings and everything is at the beginning of each year, and that's different than the Color Alliance fee. Okay, another question I got too, I don't understand the marketing plan and don't have time to read it. Can you explain it to me? And a lot of people, they do call us and they'll say, I don't understand it. But sometimes when you take a section of it and sit down and read it through, it starts to be very clear. But sometimes when you look at the whole thing and all at one time, you think, oh, I don't understand it. And it really is understandable, but it does take getting used to learning it. And so you think about it, we can't sit down and go through the whole marketing plan because the girls are busy, but also check with your upline and they'll help you with those answers, and we'll be glad to help, but we can't go through the whole marketing plan. I'm sure you can appreciate that. I have another question that I got just the other day, and it said, I ordered a palette, that's a color palette, the second day air, and it did not go out that day. Why did I not get my order within 2 days? Well, you have to remember this. If we get an order before 3 o'clock, we try to get it out that day. However, because palettes are customized, it's not always possible to ship the same day. I don't know if some of you have not been out to California to see our system, but if you have been, the processing of our palettes involves 3 departments. And since they are customized for each client, it takes time to process each one. We now ship the palette with the order, so if you have a palette included in the order, there may be a delay in shipping the order if we're waiting on the palette. If you select 2-day air or 3-day select and pay the additional shipping fee, you should not count the days until the order is shipped. And remember, when the order is shipped, when it gets out of here, you receive a notice on the Internet telling you your order has been shipped and gives you a tracking number. So you really have to kind of look at that, is that just because you say it, it depends when we get it in here, because, you know, they pick up very early, and I say if we get it by 3, it's usually out of here that day, but the pallets slow it down a little bit more. So just kind of wanted to relate that to you so that you understand what happens. It's not because of any lack of interest. When it involves three departments, it makes a difference. Okay, my last question, and Corey's going to count me on it too. It's tax time again. You know, we only have 10 more days before the taxes. And can you tell me how much I earned last year? I also need the total of all my orders for the year. Well, let's think about that. Everybody gets copies of their orders, and since you are in business for yourself, it is your responsibility to keep track of this throughout the year for tax purposes. Now, Janique totals and sends out 1099s if you receive checks from us totaling $600 or more. In other words, during the calendar year, if you earn $600 from us, we will send a 1099 because we're obligated to do that to the government, so you get that copy also. But under that, no, we really don't have that area, and neither can we go back through and list all the invoices. They're all on the internet. There's all your invoices around there. You should just go on there and find it on that area. So, Corey, do you want to add something more on that?
Yes, I do actually, because another question that a lot of distributors seem to ask or wonder about is, what kind of records will I need or should I keep for tax purposes? Well, I have that information, but before I give you the information, I'm just kind of going to do a little disclaimer here saying that I am not an accountant, but the information that I'm about to share with you was derived from the DSA site and the IRS website. And another thing that I would like to say is that, in preparing your taxes, we encourage you to please go to your tax professional or visit the sites that whose web addresses I will give you later for further information about your taxes and how to do them. Now, what I'm going to say is that DSA has partnered with the Internal Revenue Service, Small Business and Self-Employed Division, to provide you with a one-step resource for many of your tax questions. So, and I'm going to include this information in the topic list that we update every week. But just for your edification tonight, you can go to www.dsa.org. And then under the search box, you can just search Tax Center, and it takes you to the page that I will give you on that topic list that we update every week. But anyway, so in terms of general information that you need to keep, you should keep records on the following: gross receipts, which are the income you receive from your business; purchases, items, which are items you buy and resell to customers; expenses, obviously, which are the costs you incur; business-related travel, okay, transportation, entertainment, and gift expenses. So if you travel for a business, if you're gonna, do go drive at a different state to, to do a party or whatever, that the mileage and the meals you incur, can be a tax deduction. Assets, if your business has grown to the point where you need to rent an office, or if you need to buy a computer or furniture for your office, those are records that you need to keep because they can be tax deductions as well. Employment taxes, you need to keep records of that. If you hired a part-time helper for the holidays or in your busy season, you need to keep those kinds of records. Now, the record system you use is up to you. Use the system that is the most convenient for you. Here's a little hint, though. Your record-keeping system should clearly show your incomes and expenses. That's pretty logical, right? And for most small businesses, the checkbook is the main source of entry. So you can actually really get a lot of that information just from your checkbook, because your business checkbook, shows the history of your business in a sense. It can show your deposits, withdrawals, etc., and the checks you make out. Now, you should keep the following in terms of receipts and things like that: invoice receipts, sales slips, paid bills, deposit slips, canceled checks. Those are the basic things that you need to keep. Why? Because these items support entry